Can animals predict natural disasters? Have you ever wondered if animals can sense when a natural disaster is about to happen? Picture this. Your dog suddenly starts barking nonstop, or you notice a flock of birds flying away in a hurry right before an earthquake or a tsunami hits. Could it be that they are sensing danger long before we realize it? For centuries, people around the world have observed animals acting strangely before major natural events, leading to the belief that they might possess an extraordinary ability to predict disasters. From elephants moving to higher ground before a tsunami to cats hiding before an earthquake, these behaviors have sparked curiosity and questions. Is it possible that animals have a heightened sense of the environment that allows them to detect changes in nature that we can't? Or is it simply a coincidence? In this video, we'll explore the fascinating idea of whether animals can truly predict natural disasters and uncover what science has discovered about their mysterious behavior. A long history of animal predictions. Throughout history, people have noticed animals acting strangely right before natural disasters, leading many to wonder if these animals have special abilities. But are these stories fact or just myths? One of the earliest stories comes from ancient Greece in 373 BC. The city of Hellas was destroyed by an earthquake and tsunami. According to historians, days before the disaster, animals like rats, snakes, and weasels were seen fleeing the city. This led people to believe that the animals knew something bad was going to happen. Could these animals have predicted the earthquake? Fast forward to more recent events, like the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Many witnesses in places like Thailand and Sri Lanka reported animals acting strangely before the waves hit. For instance, elephants were seen moving to higher ground, and birds were unusually quiet. While thousands of humans tragically lost their lives, many animals survived. Did they sense the disaster before it struck? There are countless similar stories. But just because these events happened doesn't necessarily mean that animals can predict disasters. To find out if there's any truth to this, we need to look at what scientists have discovered. What does science say? Scientists have been curious about this topic for many years, and while some interesting findings have come to light, there's no clear answer. Most researchers agree that animals don't predict natural disasters the way we imagine. However, they do think animals might sense certain environmental changes that occur before a disaster happens. Earthquakes. Earthquakes are one of the most studied natural disasters when it comes to animal behavior. Before an earthquake, there are sometimes small tremors or shifts underground called foreshocks. Humans might not be able to feel these tiny tremors, but many animals have more sensitive senses than we do. Animals like dogs, for example, have excellent hearing and may be able to pick up the sound of rocks cracking deep beneath the Earth's surface. A study conducted in Japan after the 2011 earthquake found that some dogs became restless or anxious in the hours leading up to the quake. Similarly, researchers in China have reported that in the weeks before a major earthquake in 1975, animals such as snakes, rats, and chickens acted unusually. It's possible that these animals were reacting to changes in the Earth's magnetic field or to vibrations that were too faint for humans to detect. But it's important to note that not all earthquakes are preceded by foreshocks or other detectable changes. This makes it difficult to say for sure whether animals can sense an earthquake every time. Tsunamis. Tsunamis are another type of natural disaster where animal behavior has been observed. In the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, there were numerous reports of animals moving to safer areas before the waves hit. Elephants were especially noticeable, with many witnesses claiming they moved to higher ground hours before the tsunami. Scientists think that animals like elephants might be able to feel the vibrations from undersea earthquakes that humans cannot detect. Elephants, for example, have sensitive feet that can pick up low-frequency vibrations called infrasonic waves. These waves can travel long distances through the ground, giving animals a head start to react before humans are even aware of the danger. Additionally, it's thought that animals may sense changes in air pressure before a tsunami or storm. Birds, for instance, have been observed flying away from coastal areas just before hurricanes or storms hit, likely responding to shifts in atmospheric pressure. Volcanic eruptions. When it comes to volcanic eruptions, there are also interesting observations about animal behavior. In 1980, before Mount St. Helens erupted in Washington, USA, animals like deer, elk, and birds were seen leaving the area. In some cases, this behavior was observed several days before the eruption. Scientists believe that animals might be able to detect changes in gases like sulfur dioxide, which are released from the Earth's crust before a volcanic eruption. These gases can cause physical discomfort to animals, prompting them to leave the area. Different animals, different senses. Not all animals react to natural disasters in the same way. This is likely due to the unique senses each animal possesses. Let's take a closer look at a few different animals and what they might be able to sense. Birds. Birds are highly sensitive to changes in air pressure, making them good at sensing storms or hurricanes before they hit. Some migratory birds have even been observed leaving their usual nesting areas days before a natural disaster, possibly in response to atmospheric shifts. Insects. Even tiny creatures like ants have shown unusual behavior before natural disasters. For instance, ants have been observed leaving their nests and moving to higher ground before floods. It's believed they can detect changes in humidity or ground vibrations. Fish and sea creatures. Marine animals like fish and dolphins can detect subtle changes in water pressure and movement. Before tsunamis, there are reports of fish swimming deeper or moving away from shore, possibly sensing disturbances caused by undersea earthquakes. Dogs. Dogs have incredible hearing and can detect sounds at much higher frequencies than humans. Some scientists believe dogs can hear the vibrations of an earthquake or even the distant roar of a tsunami. Dogs are also known for their strong sense of smell, which might help them detect gas leaks or chemical changes in the air before a volcanic eruption. Challenges in proving animal predictions. While there are many fascinating stories and theories about animals predicting natural disasters, proving it is quite challenging. One of the biggest challenges is that natural disasters don't happen often enough in the same place for scientists to study them regularly. It's difficult to gather enough consistent data to make definitive conclusions. Another challenge is that not all animals react to disasters, and those that do don't always give clear signals. For example, a dog might act anxious or restless before an earthquake, but it could also act that way if it's hungry, scared, or upset for another reason. It's hard to tell whether an animal's behavior is truly linked to an upcoming disaster or if it's just a normal reaction to its surroundings. Additionally, some natural disasters like hurricanes are easier to predict using technology like satellite imaging, while others, like earthquakes, remain much harder to forecast. So even if animals do have a sense for these events, it's not always a reliable warning system. Can we use animals to predict disasters? While it's clear that animals sometimes behave strangely before natural disasters, the idea of using animals as a reliable warning system is still controversial. Most scientists agree that while animals might be able to detect certain warning signs, their behavior is not always consistent. In other words, just because animals are acting strangely doesn't necessarily mean a disaster is coming. However, some researchers are studying ways to use animals in combination with other technologies to create better early warning systems. For example, sensors could be used to detect changes in animal behavior, and this information could be combined with data from seismometers and other scientific instruments. This could potentially help predict natural disasters more accurately in the future. In conclusion, the idea that animals might predict natural disasters is both intriguing and mysterious. While science is still uncovering the full picture, it's clear that animals have senses far beyond what humans can perceive. Their ability to detect subtle changes in the environment, such as vibrations, shifts in air or water pressure, and even magnetic field alterations, hints at a deeper connection with nature's rhythms. Although we can't rely entirely on animals to predict disasters, their behavior may serve as a valuable clue, guiding us to better understand the forces of nature. As we continue to study their actions, we might one day unlock a more effective way to anticipate natural disasters, harnessing both the wisdom of the animal kingdom and modern technology. Until then, the fascinating mystery of how animals sense danger remains a reminder of how much we still have to learn from the natural world around us.